My name is Ilya. I'm a SC here at the Oracle Hub. I'm doing a analytics demo. Today we're going to be doing it on the telecom industry. Let's get into it. So as I mentioned, my name is Ilya. I'm a cloud solutions engineer here at Oracle. And we'll be going over the high value business challenge in the telecommunications space. Telnet Wireless is a telecommunications company that focuses on manufacturing and installation of mobile communications towers that provide network coverage to mobile subscribers. So your main customers are mobile communications, telecommunications companies who rent out space on those towers and place their antennas. As a network planning manager, you want to ensure the towers in the Telnet implement are strategically positioned so they reach as many mobile subscribers so they can maximize ROI. You have access to the company's data set that contains all the information on the current tower installs, and you want to identify areas where you need to invest more for implementing your towers. This data is in form of Excel extracts, but it's not really helping you get a clearer picture about how to do this. So the solution is you're going to harness the power of Oracle Analytics to get the insights in your data and make the data-driven decisions. In order to identify which areas need to have more towers installed, we'll need to answer a few simple questions. What is the geographical coverage of our current base station tower install for the different towers and the types that we have? How many towers do you need overall? Which cities have the highest concentration of people per tower? Who are the top customers? Which cities should we add more towers? And also, it would be nice if we could actually print out all these analyses in a nice, simple PowerPoint. So after we're done, we'll have something that looks kind of like this. After connecting our data and building all the required visualizations, our following project, our final project, will have the two following canvases that we see on this front page here. If we go to the second page here, we'll be able to see tower install base by power type and population per tower as I described earlier. We'll be able to click on these various things and links and see various information based on the graphs and the charts. So let's see how we got there. So first we'll go back to Oracle Analytics. This is the front page here, and we'll click on Create. We'll click on Project, and then we'll upload the dataset Telecom's hardware installs. Select the file, and then we'll open it, and it'll upload all the data. Here you'll see a snapshot of the data, and you can click on Add to add and upload the dataset to your project. You'll be led to the data enrichment page, where we can change the properties of our rows and columns, as well as see recommendations made by the system in order to improve the data. You go down here, we're going to go ahead and add this. In this case, we will need to do a couple of things and in order to clean and prepare our data for the visualization. We need to change the zip code, first of all, to an attribute. So we go over here, and we change this to an attribute. You can also observe on the right end of the system over here that it generates recommendations based on the column that you have selected. This is a part of Oracle Analytics Intelligence in order to help you enhance the data available for your analyses. We'll use this feature in the next short while. Once we have done all the preparation, we will need to our data. We will click Apply Script on the left pane over here, and we'll make sure that the effects have been, or the changes that have been affected on the data. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, after that, let's build the visualizations, and we'll go to the Visualizations tab on the upper right-hand corner over here. And this is our Visualizations tab. This is where we'll be able to modify the data and create graphs and charts in order to visualize it. Our data set and its contents will be displayed on the left, and our visualization page Right. Now we need to get to the total number of towers and the total number of customers that we have. In our data set, we only have tower IDs for each of the tower. We have and customer names. For us to get the count of each, we'll use a calculation. To get the total number of towers, we will count the total number of tower IDs since each tower has a unique tower ID. And in order to do that, we'll be able to do this. We right click on my calculation and then add calculation. In the name of the calculation, we'll call this tower install base. And we'll also use the calculation count distinct tower ID. So after you've done that, you go to the validate button and we'll validate that this actual formula does not have any syntax errors. And as you can see, I do. So I'll go back and change my issues here. You can revalidate right here. So you can see that the calculation has been validated and it's correct. Obviously, I'm not very good at putting in calculations. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And you can see it's been added to my calculations. We'll do the same for total customers, and we'll add a calculation named total customers. So we'll go ahead and validate that again, and we'll save that. To visualize total customers, double-click on the calculation total customers, and Oracle Analytics will use artificial intelligence to identify the best visualization to use, and in this case, it will be a performance tile. Now we have the total number of customers. We need to see how many towers we have installed so far. So we'll go to tower install base, and we'll go to pick visualization, and we see that we have 2,129. So let's move on to identifying who our biggest carriers are. So what we'll do is we'll select carrier, and on Mac we'll hold command, on Windows I believe it's control, and then we will select also our tower install base. And then we're going to specify creating a tree map from the visualizations. This is a tree map right here. And we should be able to see all our biggest carriers and their install bases based on their amounts of installs and carrier. So we can also make some changes here and see a better color and color differentiator for the various carriers by moving the carrier category into the color section here. The tree map shows us that Verizon and T-Mobile are our two biggest carriers. We can drag the tree map to any part of the canvas that best represents it for us. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over here, and we can see that it all shifts over and moves as we kind of move it. Now we arrive to the key analysis that will help us to decide our implementation strategy moving forward. So we need to identify the cities with the highest population, with the least amount of towers installed. At a high level, this represents market potential. We will need the population of each city for this, but our data does not contain any population data. So there's a way for us to do that in OAC. So we're going to click on the Prepare tab, and we're going to go to the City column right here. To the right, some recommendations based on the city attribute will be shown over here. Oracle Analytics has a powerful data enrichment feature that allows us to enhance our data using machine learning and artificial intelligence. These are smart recommendations that have been created by our artificial intelligence algorithm. So what we're going to do is select Enrich City with Population from the recommended tabs on the right here. So as you can see, it's right here. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And a new column after I click Apply Script should pop up. City population is generated by the system, and we need to change this from an attribute to a measure. And I hope you remember how we did that last time. We can just click on it here, and we can select the attribute functionality here. And then we have to also apply the script again so that this attribute is applied. Now that we have the city population as a part of our data set, let's create a new calculation that tells us the number of people per tower installed. So we're going to go back to the Visualize tab, and we're going to go back to the calculations, and we're going to create a calculation here. For this calculation, we just need to simply divide our city population by the number of towers, but we'll call this first population per tower. So like I said, it will be city population, which is city underscore population, divided by the total amount of towers. So let's do that right now. City population divided by distinct, I can never spell that right. Distinct tower. I should have the tower ID here. And we'll close that up. And now we should validate this. See if I got it right this time. I did. Cool. So we'll go ahead and save that, and that'll be our calculation for population per tower. So now let us identify which cities have the highest population per tower. Hold down the Control button and select City. And then also select Population per tower. With the Mac, it's the Command key. Now we can just right-click and pick Visualization, and we'll use a horizontal bar chart. Now it's kind of hard to see here. It's kind of hard to see which cities are doing what or what's going on. So we can actually sort this, and we can sort it city by population per tower, high to low. So we can go right-click here and sort city by population per tower, high to low. And this is a little bit better, but it's not the best. To narrow down the top 20 cities with the highest population per tower, we're going to drag population per tower into the filter tab, then right-click it and change the filter type to top, bottom, end. So go down here, see filters, grab the population per tower, put it into filters. Then we're going to go here and filter type top, bottom, end. And now you can see that we have a clear insight into which top cities we need to primarily focus on to build new infrastructure and expand our business. Lastly, we will need to have a better view of our coverage across the US and which tower types are installed in which location. So for that, we'll build two visualizations. And what we'll do is create a new canvas here. I've already created a canvas, but in order to do so, you just press the plus button here. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a table of the various towers as well as a map. So in order to build a map, what we'll do is we'll select tower type and tower install base. So we'll click on tower type here, hold Command button and click on Install Base. We'll pick the visualization. It'll be a table. And here we've got the table of install bases here. So next, we also want to see a map of all the various install bases by location. So what we'll do here is first select this as a filter, and we'll go to city in order to classify it by the city. We're going to classify it by tower install base, and we're also going to do population by tower. We're going to pick the visualization, and we're going to pick a map, which is this one right here. And we should get a map of all of the locations that this is installed. And obviously you can see here that the map shows us a representation of all of the towers installed by the city. We can zoom in and out, we can manipulate it, and we can change the colors too as well. So by clicking on a particular tower type in the table, the map will show us the distribution of that particular tower type in the map. So if we go to, let's say, New York here, roughly, we can see that we have a clear view of the company's position using our data. We have around 2,129 base stations installed to service our 537 customers. Our main carriers are Verizon, T-Mobile, and Singular, and we need to build more infrastructure, obviously, in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago in order to maximize our ROI. And you can just kind of click through the map here and see the various locations, and you can see the tower types that we have here. And all this is various data that can be manipulated to see what we can do here. So that concludes the example here. But the data is very flexible, and as you can see, we can dig through it. We can take a look. We obviously have a lot more work to do on the towers in New York City, Los Angeles. Something like Detroit and Denver don't need as much focus. And as I can see, the various companies here, these are the biggest companies that we have here. So at a moment's notice, at a moment's glance, you'll be able to see the status and the dashboard of your company's health and what's going on. Thanks for joining me on this example, on this demo. If you have any questions, please contact me.